Everybody has a story, and each story starts with a beginning. This video is about my family's history in the process of immigrating to Canada. Welcome to My Place in Canadian History. My story all started on November 7th, 1926, when somebody named Mohammed Sharif Bhatti was born, my great-grandfather. He was born in a poor Muslim family in India and dealt with prejudice and hate from most of the Hindus that lived in the town also. As time went by, he was married to Benazir Begum, my great-grandmother, in 1943. A year later, in 1944, they had their first and only child, Latif Bhatti, who impacted their lives and the near future greatly. In 1947, the partition of India forced my great-grandfather and his family and friends to migrate to Pakistan because of the Indo-Pakistani War. In the process, he lost many friends to disease and mostly violence, but safely arrived to Pakistan later that year. They ended up settling in a little town near Lahore, Pakistan, called Sahiwal. My grandfather, who was only 4 at the time, hardly understood what was going on. During this time, work was so scarce that my great-grandfather had to work in labor force to obtain an income for his family. As my grandfather grew up and attended school in Sahiwal, Lahore, the population of the world was greatly rising. Because of the Second World War, many families were trying to have children, eventually becoming known as the baby boomers or baby boom generation. There were many more children being born in Canada and also all around the world. My grandpa, Latif Bhatti, was nearly done high school when he was arranged to be married to Zohra Begum, my grandmother. Again, the lack of the education kept them as lower class people until 1971, when their first son, my father, Muhammad Shafiq, was born. Later, the couple had 3 more kids, making a total of 4. After finishing high school and becoming an engineer, my father realized he wanted a better future for his children and overall family. He wanted more job opportunities, better education, less poverty, and a real system of government. He also wanted no pollution and wanted his children to feel safe and educated. When my father found out about Canada and its benefits from his friends, he jumped to the idea of immigration in a peaceful, free country. He also noticed the Immigration Act that was introduced in 1976 in Canada's history. This act allowed and supported him as an immigrant to allow family reunification, meaning he can bring his family over with him. Non-discrimination, concern for refugees, and the promotion of Canada's economic, social, and cultural goals, allowing them for a perfect escape into a beautiful country. After finally immigrating to Canada in 1997, he found everything but a job, leading him to go to the nearest, most populated country to try and look for a job, where he settled as a cab driver in the USA. After going back to Pakistan for a visit, his parents introduced him to a lady who he had been arranged to marry, my mother, Farzana Shaheen. Now he was pursuing the mission on immigrating his whole family to Canada. After gathering enough money, of course, he did it. A year after the marriage, on November 6, 2001, out came me, Abdullah Shafiq, the firstborn child in Lahore, Pakistan. But right before my birth, a devastating event had occurred where my dad worked in the USA, called 9/11. This day cursed all Muslims and displayed negative thoughts into the heads of non-Muslims. Because of this day, my family was afraid to pray or read the Quran in public. We were self-conscious and seen as terrorists to the world. Only because of this day we would go back into Canada and be protected under the Canadian Multiculturalism Act. That allowed us to share our culture and heritage safely under the law. This also attracted more immigrants, further bettering the economy of Canada. As we all settled in Canada, our family still had to grow, so later on I was given 2 sisters and a brother. My sister Zainab, my brother Dalha, and my sister Miriam. As the family was growing, my dad and my uncle started a business that would eventually become very successful and go by the name called Moblink. Now we all live in Churchill Meadows area, where we all live amazing lives, further our understanding and education every day to accomplish further success.